So one of the most important parts about Han is the first 8 to 12 minutes of the game. This part of the game is called the laning phase. And during this time is when it's paramount that you know what to do and you know what to expect from your teammates. So during this video, we'll go over what exactly is needed for you to lane properly. There are 3 lanes in Han. The first is called the safe lane. This lane is called the safe lane due to how close you are to your tower, and the fact that you get a pull, which we will discuss later. This is where you want to send a carry, whose focus is getting as much farm as possible, and a babysitter whose job is to ensure the safety of his carry. The next lane is the long lane. The long lane is called the long lane due to how far away from your tower you will be. This makes this lane very dangerous and opens your team to the threat of ganks. It is important in this lane to send 2 heroes that are good at either killing the enemy heroes or are capable of escaping danger. This will make the lane harder for the enemies to farm or harder for the enemies to score kills against you if you can escape danger easily. The last lane is called the middle lane. This lane is your 1 versus 1 lane. It's where you tend to send your ganker or hero that needs levels quickly. The player whose solos mid will generally run the tempo of the game, and it's very important that whoever goes middle knows what he's doing. So in summary, you want to send a carry who gets farm and a babysitter to protect him to your safe lane. You want to send a ganker or hero that needs levels quickly to the middle lane so he can set up fights and gain rune control, which we will talk about later. You want to send heroes capable of giving the enemy carry a hard time, or heroes that can escape danger easily to the long lane. The number 1 rule to laning is called creep equilibrium. Creep equilibrium consists of strategies that will keep your creeps close to your tower so that you can farm safely, and the enemy has to put themselves in a forward position, which leaves them open to ganks. One of these strategies for creep equilibrium is never ever auto-attack an enemy creep. Only last hit on a creep will score you gold, so auto-attacking the creep is only going to make the creep die quicker than it normally would. If the creep dies sooner than your creeps, your lane will slowly push forward towards the enemy's tower, giving them the advantage you want to keep. It is also important to note that a babysitter should not try to outlast hit his carry, because it is important that the carry gets as much farm as he can. Another strategy for creep equilibrium is denying. Once your ally creep has gotten to half-life, you can start to attack it. If you scored the last hit on your own creep, then you will deny gold and experience to your opponent. This will push the lane back towards your tower and allow you to level up quicker than your enemy. It's important to note that if you deny too quickly, you can push the enemy creeps into your tower's range and it will begin to destroy the enemy creep wave. This too will result in the enemy wave dying quicker than yours and pushing the lane away. So in conclusion, you want to maintain the creep wave as close to your tower without the tower attacking the wave. This is achieved by only attacking your creeps when you will achieve a last hit and trying to deny as many of your allied creeps as you can. In a lane, your opponents are going to try to last hit creeps and gain experience. In order to keep them from doing so, you need to attack them with auto attacks or spells. If they are low on life, they'll not be able to approach the lane without risking a death. So the more your babysitter harasses the enemy, the more lane control you will have. Anytime you auto attack an enemy hero, you will pull aggro from the creeps. This means for a short time they will try to attack you. Eventually they will stop and go back to attacking your ally creeps. You have to be careful when harassing not to be too close to the enemy creeps, as they will do a lot of damage to you. Towers work much in the same way. If you attack an enemy hero while in range of a tower, the tower will stop attacking creeps and start attacking you. So make sure not to harass when you're too close to the enemy's tower. In both the safe lane and long lane, there is a camp of neutral creeps that are very close to the lane. These creeps can be aggroed or pulled into the lane with your ally creeps. Once this is timed properly, you can pull your wave into the jungle for free gold and experience. This is also very effective at denying your enemies the experience they would have gotten had the creeps gone to the lane instead of the jungle. However, this can be a good and a bad thing. Pulling a creep wave into a single stack of neutrals will not kill off the entire wave. So when the next wave comes, you will have a wave and a half of creeps, and this will push your lane to the enemy tower. If you stack the neutrals before you pull, then you will wipe out the entire wave and keep the lane at your tower. So remember, always stack before you pull. To stack a neutral camp, you must pull the neutrals out of the camp at the 53 to 55 second mark. Once you have pulled them away from the camp, a new camp will spawn at the 0-minute mark. Now you will have a stack of neutrals ready to be pulled. In order to pull the neutrals into the creep wave, you must time this properly. You can aggro the neutrals by attacking them and running them into the wave at either the 15-second or 45-second mark. If you want to know more about stacking and pulling, please look at my jungle guide. So in conclusion, if you wish to achieve lane control and win your lane, you must always remember creep equilibrium, keeping the creeps close to your tower but not in tower range, harassment, attacking your enemies so that they cannot safely farm your lane, aggro, understanding when it is safe to attack an enemy, creep pulling, stacking and pulling neutrals into the creep wave to deny experience and gold from your enemies. Good luck, and stay tuned for our next guide entitled Map Awareness and Wards.